This
Calling to
conference
order.
will now be recorded.
Okay, calling to order 6:02. Welcome everybody. It's a beautiful day today. Finally, it's breezy. A lot of branches down all over town. I'm pretty sure Cassandra, you've been busy with stuff falling all over the place. We can start off the meeting with get the approval of minutes for the March 8th. It says on the agenda, but it's really the March 8th, 2022 meeting. If I can get a motion to accept those minutes. Anybody at all?
To accept.
Okay. Second, can I get a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion on the minutes?
Just have to correct the dates.
Except for correcting the dates, right? Yeah, well, that's on the agenda, so it's not the agenda itself. I mean, not the minutes. All right. If hearing no corrections, can I get all in favor? Can say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? All right, thank you all. So we'll go right to the report of Kelly's report, Conservation Superintendent.
Great.
Go ahead, Kelly.
Great, thanks, Greg. All right, so I'm just gonna fly through these. Feel free to interject if you have any questions, comments, etc. Starting with Tree City USA. As of literally yesterday, we just got the signed MOU. We've been waiting for like over a month for the Connecticut Urban Forest Council to sign it. The mayor had already signed it, so we can now officially move forward. We're going to begin with going out to bid for the trees and we'll be hosting 2 community meetings. I believe it's just in districts 3 and 4, if I recall correctly, where the tree plantings will be concentrated. So we'll be coordinating those efforts with the respective town councilors in those areas, just to try and get more public support for those meetings and for the tree planting program. Go ahead.
Well, look at you even know what I'm going to say. We know each other too long now. My goodness. Yeah, I just want to thank commission members who showed up for the picture taking of Tree City USA and also the planting that was done over at High Park. But again, thank you, and also thank Joe for getting the money for those trees, for getting those trees so we can plant them around town. Again, thank you so very much. It was a nice ceremony we had over at High Park. I know, Kelly, we had a little bit of an issue with one of the trees, but hopefully that is something that won't be continued on.
Unfortunately, is continuing on. We had more vandalism. So yeah, I misspoke on the Tree City USA thing. I started talking about the grant, so I apologize. But yeah, for the High Park planting, we had 1 tree vandalized overnight. We're not sure if that tree is going to make it. Most of the canopy was removed. And that combined with the shock of transplant, it's going to be a little bit of a rough go. But it's looking okay. But yesterday, I was advised that there was additional vandalism and someone had uprooted one of the trees and pushed it over. So we replanted it. Hopefully it will be okay, but it's tough. Transplanting trees is a shock. And as we're going into summer with the elevated temperatures, it's just going to be a little more difficult. But
this was back at High Park too. These are both at High Park.
Yeah, this is at High Park. So kind of going back to like the grant community meetings. I'm hoping that what can come out of that is maybe some pride in these plantings, and we can educate folks on how trees work and why they're so great, and we can all love trees together. So and that won't happen again, because it was really disheartening. It was that green sweep. The next morning I was notified of the first vandalism, so it was pretty sad. So hopefully we can just spin that around for the next time. But anyways.
Yeah, I think you're right, though. I think the getting out there community-wise, again, people hopefully will be keeping an eye on it, and if they see anything going on, they'll at least say something. So.
Right. Agreed.
The two meetings that are going to be held in that district are going to be, open to the public, and the public's encouraged. Are they going to be like outside at parks, or, like what are they doing for the public to engage to try to alleviate, any kind of future vandalism?
Well, the meetings aren't per se about the vandalism. They're just part of the grant application for the Connecticut Urban Forest Council grant that we got. So I
Yeah.
haven't really, I wanted to coordinate directly with those council members that live there because they live there and they know their neighbors the best. So we haven't figured out if we're going to have them inside, outside yet, what the format's going to be. But it's going to just be a lot of like general tree education. And then we'll be talking about the tree planting program, in addition to the tree, I guess, maintenance program that the town currently, how we operate, how it works, how they can be better engaged in that as well. So, the idea wasn't really to talk about, I mean, we'll talk about vandalism, of course, and how to better help trees succeed when we plant them. But yeah, still kind of hashing that out with those town councilors.
Great.
So,
Yeah, luckily, again, we've had a wet, pretty, I mean, Sandra could back me up on this. We've had a pretty wet spring and a cool spring. It's been a little wet. But hopefully the cool spring is going to help some of these things. I know, but just looking at our trees around the neighborhoods, our yard, the red bud went crazy this year. The pear really threw a lot of flowers this year, and so hopefully the trees like the spring. Hopefully the trees like the spring. They'll the ones that got damaged will bounce back. They're pretty hardy sometimes, right?
There's definitely a lot of pollination that was going to happen through wind this season. Really glad that everything leafed out slow because of how high sustained winds we've had. So there's not
crazy winds.
I just have a question on the maintenance of the trees that were just planted. Is there a watering plan for them?
Yeah, our gardener's been watering them. So we also, I don't know if you folks have noticed, we also replanted all the missing trees on Barnum Ave. And then Rotary also did a planting at Clover. So those the kind of three groupings of tree plantings are in rotation with the gardener. We just got a new water buffalo, if you will, but that has a little higher pressure. So he's able to kind of complete his watering a little more quickly, especially before we get the hanging baskets up. So he's been regularly attending to those. I was at Clover today, and they have gator bags on those trees as well, and those were full. So and those trees are looking great as well. So so far so good with all of our spring plantings.
So the vandalism's only been at High Park?
Yeah, it's only been at High Park. Barnum Ave's been good from what I've seen. I've been up and down it a few times since it's been planted, and I haven't seen anything there. And then Clover looks really good. All those trees look perfect. I don't see any issues with those. So
yeah, it's just who knows? It's random stuff. So okay,
yeah.
Okay,
good.
All right.
Yep. I'm not sure why street tree plantings was on here separately. I don't know if any of you folks could recall. If not, I'll just move on. And then moving forward, I'll just maybe have like a tree item.
The only thing I think is street tree plantings were on there because we had talked about potentially getting back into the townspeople being able to buy trees at some place and giving them support on getting a tree in their yard. I think that's maybe why it's on there.
That's probably what it is, yeah.
If I go back to the minutes, I probably could, if I read the, no, I read the minutes. That's what.
Oh, okay, sorry, I did not read the minutes.
That's what's there. It's there because we talked about potentially starting with the money that we got to plant trees in some of the areas to see if we wanted to reinstitute if people are interested in getting trees to plant in their yard. So something we can continue looking at. I know we tried it in the past. Not many people took advantage of it. Some did, but really it was not something that worked very well. So maybe something we revisit.
Kelly, can you tell me if the tree was planted on Luann?
No, it was not yet planted. We ran out of trees last year, so I wasn't able to plant that tree. But next time I go to the nursery, I'm going to grab a tree for them.
Okay.
So I do apologize. That's my bad. So sorry about that.
That's good. It's good to know. I'll just let them know then.
Yep,
All right.
no
We'll keep that on there. Just the street tree plans. We'll take a look to see if there's anything. And again, like you just mentioned, we're getting past kind of the tree planting. You know, I guess you can plant
Until the fall,
but just gonna need more support. So maybe we can do something for the fall.
Yeah, we're not going to be really doing any planting until the fall at this point. We don't have the capacity to maintain transplanted trees during the summer like that. So
they just don't want. And it's going back up to, I guess, by the end of the week we're up in the 70s now. So it's gonna come fast and furious. Okay, thank you.
Yep. All right, cool. Any other questions on Tree City USA, tree grant, trees? No? Oh, I guess I could point out really quickly, speaking about trees, last night town council approved the alternate location for the Longbrick tennis courts, which is going to save pretty much all the trees. So, a win for the trees. So that's good.
Yay.
Many thumbs up.
Trees
Yep.
and tennis. You made everybody.
Yep, trees and tennis are gonna coexist together. It's gonna be great.
Dogs and cats living together.
I don't know how the neighbors feel about the tennis courts going so close to their
Yeah,
front yard, but
but that's
whatever.
okay. They're going to be there anyway. So
Yeah.
cool. All right, it's good. That's good news. Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up really quick. All right, so moving on to the open space grant update. We still have not heard anything from the grant that we got to expand Wigwam or Chanda Park in the north end. That the grant or the owner hasn't gotten back to us. I heard that he potentially may have passed away, so that might further back things up on that.
So if he does get back to you, let us know, please, because that's special.
Yeah, we'll see. And then on the 2017 Beaver Dam Road parcels, town council approved last night to move forward with the acquisition of those parcels. So the town attorney is working on all of the legal mumbo jumbo on that to move forward and acquire those. And those parcels, I think it totals like about 3.5 acres or so, and that'll be incorporated into Roseville Forest.
Nice. That's so nice.
So it'll be nice to close that portion of that grant out.
Cool.
And James Farm?
James Farm Road, that is for sale, but it's heavily in layers of litigation. And there's also some negotiations going on between the town and the property owner for a potential acquisition, but I have not heard any details on that yet. But part of that 2017 grant, there is money in that for the James Farm Road parcels, if and when that time comes. So
That's good news.
Any word on the pond? Any word on the pond?
Crash Pond, they're holding off on that for now. I think they're Stratford Land Development Corp. I think they're just busy with some other things, and they said they just have to hold on for a minute. So, but they still think they're going to do it. They just can't do it right now. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
But yeah, I also wanted to give a shout out. I got interrupted there, but thank you, Joe Gresco, for the whole 2017 grant, helping us get that split. You were instrumental in that. That was huge. Thank you. All right.
Joe, do you have something? Yeah, I know it looked like you had something, or was that it?
Yeah, okay. Great. The waterfront access guide is with the Economic Development Department. I'm going to circle back with Mary Dean and see how things are going with that and what input they wanted to provide. I know they're slammed in their office right now too, so it's just a busy time of year for everyone. So I'll circle back with Mary and see how things are moving along with that.
Yeah, it's a good time. It would be a good time to get that, if we can get that, either right at Memorial Day or just after Memorial Day, because that's the time when people start thinking about. So it would be good. It would be a really good thing to be able to pull it out for Memorial Day, so people can. It'd be a good timing anyway.
Okay.
In marketing, it would be good timing.
Yeah.
Let's pass it out at Celebrate Stratford.
Yeah, that's June 4th.
Same day as your wine safari.
Yep, great days. Great days.
A wine safari.
Wine safari.
Yeah, you can spend all day and
Stay all day at Main Street, and then we
then-
can spend all night at the zoo.
yeah.
We'll have to
It's
talk
real-
offline.
it's totally
about
doable.
Totally
I'm gonna be
doable.
doing it. I'm gonna be doing it. Oh, it'll be
That
chill.
sounds awesome. All right, cool. Moving on, Brownfields update. Kramer's Junkyard, 11 Old South Ave. EPA is wrapping up their phase 2 investigation report, and that's going to finally reveal to us at least some idea of what that property is contaminated with and how bad it is. And from there, we plan through the RDA that will be going on the market for sale once we have a better handle on what we're dealing with. But EPA is still on the hook for an additional round of investigation and some cleanup planning, so long as whomever potentially purchases the property agrees to it. So,
I'm gonna make a guess. They're gonna find something there.
yeah, I think they already preliminarily they said there's about 4 or 5 feet of fill over the entire property, which is not surprising. It was a marsh, so it was filled, and it's all. And I mean, it's obvious petroleum contaminations, but I don't know what else. So we'll see.
Break line. Yeah, it's going to be. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Be a soup.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's Kramer's. Contract plating is still on the market. Nothing's been finalized with any developer yet. We were waiting for a while for the final plan for OU4. That's the old Ray Bessos ball field property. We're potentially offering it with the with contract plating, and one of the developers was interested in what the final design looked like. So we were kind of waiting on them to get a look at that final design. So we're still kind of waiting to hear back from them. But other than that, we don't have any other takers that I'm aware of. But Mary Dean's been mostly handling the actual sale of that. That's more in her wheelhouse. So, and then Waymark, as you all can see, driving around town, still going on. I'm not sure if you guys saw on Quail Street, they planted all the trees.
That's great.
They look to be doing okay. So, and then they did put that line of boulders out that they excavated. We did request that to try and keep folks from, even while they were working out there, folks were like driving in there and dumping stuff, which was a little frustrating. So hopefully that'll keep people out from riding dirt bikes in there and cars and four-wheelers and all that nonsense.
So that's been planted with the trees, and basically that they're just going to let it go fallow now, right? Just let it go.
Yep, the plan is to revert it back to what it was, which
No plans in there to mow it. There's no plans in there to put lawns in there. Okay.
Nope.
So people are dumping, like, people are dumping yard debris, is that what it is?
I don't recall what it was that they were dumping, but they got caught in the act, actually, which is
Right.
really rare. They were caught by police doing it. So
Nice.
Awesome.
I like
yeah,
that.
it kind of felt nice for once.
Hey, really?
Yeah. So hopefully those boulders, though, will deter that activity as well.
Okay. Very good.
But yeah, and then I think they're wrapping up behind the Blue Goose. They have to do some tree plantings along the edge of that property. That's not a town property, though. I believe they're looking to redevelop that property into apartments or something. And then they have various OU6 properties along Ferry Boulevard that they're still working on. And then plug for Raymark Community Action Group, Community Advisory Group, sorry, stratfordct.gov/R Raymark for updates on that. If you want more details than I've just provided. Any questions on Brownfields? Super fun, anything? Okay, moving on to Inland Wetlands Commission applications. We have two big ones before us right now. Teakwood Estates off of Broadbridge Avenue and Ronald Road and Teakwood Drive, I believe it is. About a 10.5 acre parcel that they're looking to clear cut and put about 20 houses on. Last month at the April meeting of Inland Wetlands, they got tabled again, or not accepted rather, because the application was incomplete. They did submit for this month revised site plans that are on my desk that I will be reviewing tomorrow. And hopefully we can get them accepted and get the show on the road with them, but we'll see. The plans were really quite cumbersome and difficult for a lot of folks to read, so hopefully they were able to clean those up and we could get a better review of what they're intending to construct out there.
Yeah, this is it's in our neighborhood, so it's a concern, but it's even more of a concern for conservation because it is a area that really is, I would believe, it's a sensitive area and for environmental area. There's lots of trees, ledges, stream, ponds, all kinds of stuff in there. It's and I've said this before, it's a pathway between the Remington Woods and the UI right away. So lots of critters move through that area. So knocking that down and putting houses in there is probably going to be a very big detriment for the environment. So, well, we'll keep on this and see what. But I'm pretty sure we're going to have to say something at some point.
Yeah. So our next meeting for Inland Wetlands is next Wednesday, the 18th. But there will be no decision made on that because it still hasn't been accepted. So
Right.
No real action is needed, I guess, at this time
Okay.
for the new folks. But
Right,
and then we also have a 100+ unit apartment complex at 99 Holly Lane that's behind Big Y that was accepted at the April meeting as a complete application. And it'll be before the commission on the 18th, and the commission will decide whether they want to approve the application, ask for more information, or kick it to a public hearing. My sense is it's going to go to a public hearing. It's a pretty big development, so I would be shocked if it didn't.
There's so much flooding back there with those residents off of Seabreeze and that whole area. That used to be Hubble Farm. It's unbelievable back there. So if they're going to be putting in any sort of housing, we're going to have to get some serious flooding remediation going on.
Yeah, and that's by the, it's directly adjacent to the Snake Pit, which I forgot how many acres of wetland that is. I want to say it's like a 20-acre wetland that's undeveloped. So yeah, that'll be another one that you folks will probably want to watch.
Yeah, not to mention traffic on Holy Lane coming out of there. That's already a disaster.
Yeah, they are proposing another entrance off of Armory Road. So
Yeah, but
So
that just dumps them on Nichols Avenue then.
into
So
the intersection that we just redid.
yeah, so it's this.
yeah, that's the intersection that they just redid, exactly.
Yeah, Karen.
The property owner, is he up to date on his taxes?
At 99 Holly Lane.
Yes.
I don't know. We could look on my tax bill right now if you would like.
That would be,
I'm sure that's conservation. That's not conservation. But I think
no, it
it's
is, because you can ask for a hold until he
pays his bills. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, there's other development on Holly Lane that is incomplete, and I believe it's the same property owner. I'm not 100% sure, but
Really?
I'm pretty certain. And that's
Is that
been
the
dragging.
diner? Is that the diner?
Yes.
No, that's not the same property owner.
Is it a different one? Okay.
Yeah, it's not Jim Fitzpatrick. This is a different property owner.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
I'm not
whoever
saying
it
that
is-
I don't know whether either of them paid their taxes. I have no idea. So
Okay.
I don't want to
All right.
speak.
All right. Well, again, this is definitely something to look into. So let's keep an eye on this.
Is my district the only district with woods left? Can you just leave my district alone, please?
All right. Well, it's again something that's important. There's a whole bunch of issues with that one. So
Mhm.
and then even talking about the diner. I know they're working on the diner now, slowly but surely. Don't call me Shirley, but again, I'm not sure how much encroachment they're going to do there. If any, I don't know, Kelly, has anybody watched that? I'm not sure who watches that project once it's, because it does go right up to the wetlands there on Holly Lane.
Yeah, I mean the proposed plan has that wall being essentially the wetland limit. So it is really tight, unfortunately. But I've been
Like with
driving by and I haven't. What?
My concern is going to be when parking lots are built, and where runoff's going to go from the parking lot and all that kind of stuff. So going by the spring, peepers were still peeping this spring there, so they're still hanging on. But yeah, something that, again, another concern. I don't know if there's monitoring of that. Is that something you do, or is that do we have somebody that does monitoring of that?
Monitoring after construction or during?
No, monitoring during construction. Make sure they're not encroaching, and they're not
It's me.
making sure the silt fence is still up and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I haven't been on site, but I've done drive-bys and I've been okay with what I've seen compared to the site.
All right.
But,
No, just as long as somebody's monitoring, that's all. I didn't know if it was you or somebody else.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
So that's all I have for Inland Wetlands Commission applications. Those are
I
the
think
big
that's
boys.
enough.
I think, we're done.
Yeah, it's enough.
What next? The sun is killing me. It's a very bad spot to sit. I apologize. So
You gotta do me for curtains.
Get some sunglasses on anyway.
I need to get curtains. The thing is, we haven't painted this room yet, so I don't know what curtains I want. But it's not. Stop laughing. The Bruce Brook Watershed Base Plan. I still haven't gotten the contract back from the AG, the Attorney General, because we have a contract between CT Deep and Town of Stratford, and we finally hashed that out, and it has to go to the Attorney General, and they have to do their legal magic on it. So I have not gotten that back yet, so we have not begun anything on the Watershed Base Plan, unfortunately, but that's okay because we have plenty of other stuff to work on. And then the Audubon Salt Marsh Stewards is going really well. The kids are like, they've done all their ice breaking now, and they're starting to actually work together well as a team. I have not actually met them yet. They work after normal business hours. They work like 3 to 6 on Thursdays, and then they work on Saturdays. But this Thursday after work, I'm going to go meet them all and talk about careers in conservation and all that. So that'll be really fun. I'm really excited to go out there. And I did want to let you know that Audubon is similar to Bridgeport and West Haven. They have wildlife guards over the summer that are students from those respective towns that post up on the beaches. They do piping plover monitoring or nesting shorebird monitoring in general. And they just educate the public on how to share the shore and be responsible while you're using the beach. And Audubon is seeking a NIFWIF grant for Stratford, which is really exciting. So it's going to kind of mirror the Saltmarsh Steward project, but it's going to be longer and during the entire summer. So the mayor and this is my dog, the mayor and Ron from HR are both in support. So we'll be getting a support letter for that grant shortly, and fingers crossed. It's a pretty successful program in Bridgeport and West Haven. So and being that we are building on the success of the Saltmarsh Steward project, hopefully we'll be a good candidate for that.
Yeah, we've had the guards at the zoo also doing programs, their educational programs for our guests, and they're just great kids. It really is a lot of fun working with them, with the Bridgeport kids. And I know that our CDC, I know the zoo's Conservation Discovery Corps has been out also planting. I'm not sure if the Saltmarsh Stewards already starting to plant, right? Isn't that they're doing plantings?
Oh, yeah, I think they've planted over 50,000 plants already.
Yeah, so the CDC kids from the zoo were side by side with them. So they're doing conservation, they're doing the good work, and it's like team building also, like you said. So it's a win-win-win-win situation for us.
Right,
cool.
And cheap labor.
If I forgot to ask Corey yesterday, but if they need any kind of letter from me, I'll give her a call and see if she needs anything. Okay. Joseph.
Thank you.
I don't know if you were doing it. I don't know if you were doing the Italian.
No, I was raising my hand this time. Thank you. So this is Audubon, Connecticut, or Connecticut Audubon? This is the guys that are there.
That's Audubon, Connecticut, national.
So it would be the group that's there now at the Great Salt Marsh.
Yep. It's the same.
So what was the name of the grant that you applied for?
It's a NIFWIF, so it's National Fish
National
and
Wildlife.
National
Wildlife Federation. National Wildlife Federation something.
National Fish and Wildlife Federation.
That's it. Yep. NIFWIF. Yeah. So right, without the I.
How much did you ask for?
I have not seen the budget yet. I literally just got the okay from the mayor and from HR that we would be supporting it. So I haven't seen the grant proposal yet, but it'll be for whatever their hourly rate is throughout the summer. I think for Saltmarsh Stewards, it was much shorter duration, but that was about 30 grand that we received for that. So I imagine this will be a little bit more, but
ask for the maximum.
Yes.
Always ask for the maximum.
Yep.
Then I'm gonna make a call tomorrow.
Excellent.
Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, just a win again. Like I said, win-win proposition for us. It's really a good program. Yeah.
Right.
Kelly, are you done? I don't want to interrupt.
I'm done with mine, but there's like some of the things in the ongoing items that like I could also speak to, so I could speak to those two things really quick if you want me to, or if you're done listening to me talk.
You got new business, Joe? New business or?
I have to go, so I'm just gonna.
Oh, okay, jump in.
The Housatonic River cleanup was well attended. As you know, the group is trying to purchase a boat that would be like a skimmer. So we were able to get them a couple more grants. So I think they're over halfway there, and trying to get Coca-Cola to make up the difference. I mean, I know it's like sleeping with the enemy, but you know, hey, why not? So they came to the Housatonic River cleanup, and with their whole "We Want Our Bottles Back" campaign. So, hey, you know, you're giving the money, I'll take it.
If anybody has seen that skimmer, it's pretty cool. You know, they have those in Baltimore Harbor and other places that do a really good job. I want that job too. Can I apply for that?
Yeah. Then if the Conservation Commission wants to apply for any monies, or the town wants to apply for any monies for greenways. We doubled the amount of money that the state is giving out for greenway projects, because last year not everybody got money because we ran out. So we put another $3 million in. So if there's something that interests you, please apply, because, well, I can't guarantee it, but I wrote the law, so we should be getting something. And the same goes for open space and watershed. I know we took a pause on some things because of an issue with cooperative owners and the like, but we doubled that as well. So it's now $10 million instead of 5 every year. We've gone back to what the level was when it first started. I don't know if there's going to be 2 grant rounds because of Deep's staff issues, but it might just still be 1 grant round, but with double the money. So yeah, we should apply for something, because we'll get it. Let's put it that way. And lastly, there are probably, I don't know, 4 parcels of land that the city of Bridgeport owns around the airport, including a piece around Frash Pond, including where the Point of View restaurant used to be, right, right there. And then there's another big piece behind the outfall that they're working on now. So as a consolation prize to not keep getting the bid for the airport, I'm trying to get them to gift those properties to the town, so that if and when the time hopefully never comes, when somebody starts bubbling up about expansion, they're going to have to go through Stratford and not through Bridgeport. That's where we are.
Good move on that. Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, all the promises in the world, but I'm not going to be here forever, and either, well, and then 10, 15 years from now, all of a sudden, oh, hey, let's expand the airport, and we need to have thinking about that. So.
And if it's in Stratford, so let's get the property back. That's good. Okay.
Well, when Stratford allowed them to move Main Street for that extra EMOS bed, the emergency, we picked up a couple of parcels. But I want the rest of them now. So
right.
I think we should add that it wasn't Stratford, it was the state that allowed them to move that. It's a state road.
It is a state road, but
want to clarify.
Still, it was in Stratford, so we kind of got the blessing, and Mayor Harkins was able to pick up a couple of parcels with that. So
that'd be great
with Finch there. So
all right, anyway. All right. Thanks, Joe. Karen, you had something to question?
Yes, tomorrow is a Greenway meeting at 12 o'clock online. So I'll make sure that they know what you said, Joe. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, perfect. If there's some expansion on the Greenway, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I highly recommend applying for something, because while I'm here,
Kelly, it also goes back maybe to the waterfront access points. I know most people, when we did our surveys, we asked for improvements in some of those areas. So maybe some monies that could be, if there's some monies that needed for those improvements, we already have the kind of the documentation that says they could be used. It doesn't come to my head right now, but I know when we went around, we looked at what we had and what improvements could be made. And it may not be an actual greenway, but it could be just improving on a greenway kind of area instead of like the pathway. So
I will Harold Watson, Joe, to contact you. He's the chairman of the committee. Okay.
We talked this morning at Rotary, so he's So, but still bring it up, please, because
I will.
Kelly.
Yeah, just make sure coordinate with me on that, because I want to make sure we're on a united front on what Stratford's applying for. That's all.
Yep, exactly.
I have a pretty cool arboretum plan that I had a landscape architect design too. That if everyone wants it, I'd be happy to apply for that as well. So,
That's a good idea.
And that just brings me up. I know we're going to ongoing items, but then it's really not ongoing items. But just to say, everybody, Laura and I were able to talk with oh yeah,
Where
come on,
I don't know.
what's it about?
wow.
Oh,
Terrible when it goes bad, so bad.
Who did we just talk to?
We at the fundraiser that we were just at the library fundraiser. Never mind, it'll come to me in a minute. Go
what
ahead.
are you talking about?
No, yeah. We're talking about having a memorial area for our esteemed former member of the Conservation Commission.
Oh, yes.
And he was there and he just wanted to say hello to everybody.
Oh, yeah.
He misses everybody and he looks great.
Yeah, he really looks
Oh,
good.
good. That's really great to hear.
So,
I'm glad.
however, if we're going to do something, we still need to do it, sooner or later.
Okay.
So I know, Kelly, you were looking at that thing. I talked to Bob David about the Quonset hut up in Roosevelt Forest, about naming it after him up there. But again, it's something that keeps month by month. It slips by and then goes away, and then
Right.
I need to put my finger on it and move on it a little bit, because it's time. It is time sensitive, and I know how that works with the way the zoo happened. So
Agreed. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, speaking of the Quonset hut, there is no Quonset hut at Roosevelt, by the way. I
No.
thought that there was. I went looking for
Gone.
it. It's been gone for a very long time.
probably
And
see,
I've
it's
been
one of the
talking
things.
about it like it's there, but it's not there.
And maybe it's just
I'll let
it's
you
in
know.
their mind. It's in their mind that it's there, and it's not even there.
I know. I still can picture it there, but it's not.
That's really weird, because when I talked to Bob David about it, he said, "Oh yeah," and so it's his
Everyone
commission,
talks
but he
about it
didn't.
like
He thinks it's still there too. All right, well, that's not boding well for our Joe. I'm sorry. Go ahead,
No, I have to run. Thank you for the indulgence.
Joe. Thanks so
Awesome.
much. All right, no
Thanks,
problem. Take care. Peace out.
Good news.
All right, so going back to our ongoing, we have Perhala Farm. Basically, I know they did all of the pruning there. The fruit trees were pruned around them, but I don't know where we're going to stand. We're back to those things where Karen was talking about people going in and do a fruit harvest, or a kind of thing like that. The fruit trees are there. I don't know, I don't know if people are allowed to walk in there and harvest, just walk in with a bag and take apples from the trees. But that's just something if we wanted to try something, Karen, that was already extant. I don't get to use that word very often, but it's extant. Then those trees are there, and in the fall we could do something with that. So why don't we put that on the back burner for now? But think about that, because that way we're not planting trees, we're not planting anything. But let's see how it works out first with that, and then move forward from there. If that's okay, everybody. All right. Kite surfing, our favorite topic. Kelly, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll just speak really quickly on this. Chris Pia, the council chair and the counselor for the district that Long Beach is in, and I met with a group of kite surfers the Thursday before Arbor Day, so the end of April, just talking about what kite surfing is, how it works, talking about piping plovers, how they work. And we are scheduling a meeting with the mayor for next week to go over all aspects of kite surfing and beach nesting shorebirds and what the best solution is moving forward. Because ultimately, if there's a take, the person getting that letter is going to be the mayor. So we want to make sure that she is comfortable with whatever approach we take. So kind of more to come, but at least we've collected a lot of data at this point. We've spoken to all interested parties, and we'll be bringing this up to the mayor. So
yeah, without belaboring, yeah, we had a meeting. We have a not monthly meeting, but a bi-monthly meeting with Audubon and Fish and Wildlife and Deep, if they're all on the call. And again, just something to keep on with this. The movement of them going, as we talked about the ordinance, there's an ordinance that said they're supposed to be on the east side of the beach, not the west side of the beach, is not really good for us as a conservation organization, because they're tranching over the top of the dunes to get to where they got to go, and that's not good conservation, whether they're taking out the barrier dunes there. I think discussion will be had on how this is going to work. I don't know, Kelly, if you want to mention the potentials here. Potentials were to look at getting permitting, which with permitting doesn't do much, but at least it gives them the information, the education that they may have with their permit that says why they got to be very careful. The conversation Kelly's had with them is that they don't want to hurt the birds. They're not there to hurt anybody. They just like their hobby. But that being said, that's, you know, if the wind's been blowing for the last couple of days, you know, those kites are unwieldy, and kites are going to do what they want to do without all best intentions. So again, we're looking right now at the potential of having seasonal kiteboarding down there. They normally will go in the cold weather when the wind's blowing out of the northwest at a steady pace, which is not the time when the birds are there. But again, we're gonna have this discussion on and on. We'll let you know where this goes. Anything more on that, Kelly?
Nope, that's pretty much it.
Coastal rodents. Coastal rodents, they have their own magazine. It's pretty cool. You know, they have the little beach houses. You know, it's a living, coastal living. The rats have to have a living too. So yeah, HGTV, coastal living. Didn't think you could buy a hovel, but you can. Kelly, just quickly on coastal rodents again. Kelly's been spending an inordinate amount of time on rodents and trying to get the information, and it's not easy. It's not easy. So you just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, so we were dealing with USDA APHIS we've been dealing with them for this entire time, trying to get information out of them, but they are an extremely busy federal agency and they're hard to get in contact with. But we finally have boiled it down with them. At least they don't have the license required to deploy the chemicals that they would need to, and they're not, those specific chemicals are not registered in the state of Connecticut, so they can't use them even if they had their license. So all they could offer us is trapping at this point. So they're working on a proposal for rat trapping. And I did speak with we do have an on-call, I guess, pest control company. And they don't want to touch this. They said that there's federally listed species involved. They don't even want to go near it. They don't want any potential PR issues or anything to get in trouble with the feds. So, so they're kind of out of the question. So I'm waiting on the proposal from USDA APHIS for trapping. But I don't know if Joe, if you want to talk really quickly about some of the pellets you've seen out there. I think that's really interesting. And maybe we don't need as a robust program for control as we thought we did.
Did you hear that, Joe?
Did you want to talk, Joe?
What's that? Yeah. Yeah, about the pellet study at Long Beach.
Yeah.
Okay, so for about from mid-January until the end of March, I collected 15 large pellets in the area of Long Beach where the snowy owls had been seen. Some of these pellets were like as wide as my hand. And 13 out of the 15 pellets contain the remains of one or more brown rat, the Rattus norvegicus, Norway rat, the common rat. And the other prey item that I found in the dissected pellets were meadow voles. There were a total of, I think, 5 or 6 voles. But the whole thing shows evidence that Norway rats are the chief prey item. It was in like 80-something% of the diet of the snowy owls, presumably at Long Beach. You know, there's no way that I could saw these pellets being regurgitated by a snowy owl, but this was the habitat where, you know, the snowy owls were, and they were extremely large pellets. I can't imagine any of the smaller hawks that we have around here.
I don't do that. Yeah.
Swallowing 2 rats for one meal. And the pellets are formed approximately, I think, every 10 hours or so. So, you know, there's eat 2 rats in one meal. So. But rats are an important prey item in the diet of the owls out there.
Yeah, but I think the biggest. Okay.
And also, so the next question was, well, what are the rats eating? And I've reached, I made a hypothesis that the rats are eating the slipper shells, the crepidula snails that are in tremendous abundance. So every time we get weather out of the, onshore, the waves deposit live. They don't just deposit empty shells, but they're live slipper snails. And then after a few days, they die. The snails die, and the beach reeks of odor. And I believe that the rats are taking advantage of all of the seafood that lines the shores. And if there's any doubt about the number of slipper shells, just take a walk down the extent of Long Beach. Yeah.
Yep. If I could sell slipper sails, I'd be a millionaire.
Yeah, but I think the rats are eating those, and then the owls take advantage of the rats because when you walk, a couple of thousand yards, a couple of thousand feet out there, every one of the breakwaters out there, the jetties are 1,000 feet. So when you walk 3,000 feet away from the parking lot, there's really no garbage. So whatever, and rats seem to be out there in this habitat, So there's no garbage from trash cans, out that way.
One of the things I'd love to do out there, and I'm not sure. Again, we're doing this work with Fairfield University right now. They with the students, there a lot of behavioral studies at the zoo. But one of the studies they did this last year, which I wanted them to do, was to set up trap cams along the zoo in areas to see what was moving around at night, to see what kind of night critters are out there, and being, to see, because I've had rumors that there's bobcat and coyotes and things, which I've never seen evidence of, and then the trap cams never found anything like that either. But they saw rats, they saw rats, they saw raccoons, they saw skunks, they saw fox. Yeah. So one of the things that I'd love to be able to do, and maybe it's something we could talk to one of the universities, if they would put some trap cams out there. The problem is, it's a place where if you put a trap cam out there, the odds of that trap cam being around the next day may not be good. The only way that's going to work is you got to have somebody go out there, put the trap cam out at dusk, and then collect it at dawn. That way, that thing. But that would start to give us some evidence of, like you said, where the rats are, what's out there. Is there something else out there? Like you just said, that when you mentioned the pellet being about as big as your hand, it kind of makes me look at it and say that's a heck of a pellet for a owl to regurgitate. So it makes me wonder, that do we have coyote out there? Do we have fox out there? What else is going on out there? I'm pretty sure the owls are eating those things, but what else is going on out there that we can get more handle on? Because if we have a population of coyote or fox out there, the same thing that Kelly just mentioned. If we got owls and we've got fox and or coyote out there and or bobcat for giggles, these are all predators on the rabbits that are out there and the rats. Which means we may not be looking at such a huge problem with rats that we think we have. That's the only reason for trying to get as much data as we possibly can to see what's actually going on. So that being said, we did have a meeting, and one of the there's oyster catcher nest. They did have one egg that had been taken, but it looked like something like either maybe a gull or something else pierced the shell because the shell was sliced. Rats would actually, what I've ever seen rats when they do eggs, they take the eggs. No, they just take them. They don't eat them there. They pick them up and they roll them to their burrows and eat them in the burrows. You hardly ever find a rat eating the egg on the nest. Oh, there's our bunny. It's my ADD kicking in, a rabbit running in the backyard.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's a lot of data that's interesting, and I do appreciate you looking into this. It's really kind of cool data. And again, if we can keep away from doing any kind of poisoning or trapping out there, that's better. That's better for us too. It really is.
Who's complaining about rats?
Right.
Audubon, when Audubon does studies on predation of piping plover chicks or piping plover eggs, chicks, oyster catcher eggs, chicks, they've got a huge thing about rats doing this. They say rats are one of the number one things. I'm not sure they've ever said number one for Long Beach, but it's a number one for.
How do they know? Do they have camera traps?
Don't know.
Right. If I could just, yep.
Go ahead.
I'm just gonna say on that oyster catcher nest, they did put a camera out there. They just deployed it. Yeah, because they wanted to get more information on that nest. So I'm not sure the technology that they're using, but they did deploy a camera.
Oh, good. That's good. Then that's the kind of thing that again gives you kind of an idea. I mean, and going down to the beach at night with infrared, cameras just to see what's crawling around down there. I'm not sure anybody wants to go do that, but it'd be, again, if we could find a student to do that, that'd be okay.
Well, Greg, I just want to add a couple of things.
I'm not sure what else you'd see down there with the infrared camera that night. Maybe something you don't want to see. Go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just want to say in the pellet study that I did, those were regurgitated pellets. Those were from a raptor. Those were the reason why I rule out coyote or mammal is because the bones that I found, the skull with all the teeth, were all intact.
Yeah.
And they were not chewed. And a coyote, canid would chew.
Yeah.
And so this was swallowed as evidenced by the intact skeletal material. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Yeah. I'm not doubting it, but I'm just saying there things out there doing this stuff.
But it's interesting.
It would be in our best interest to know what else is going on. All right. Cool.
I want to say thanks to Joe too. That's really awesome. And then, is there any way we could link up how the Audubon Salt Marsh Stewards, that grant, that possible person that's going to always be around, would be able to also monitor this situation that occurs, like that person that they're recommending or we're trying to get? How much would this be, all of this encompassed within their space?
Go ahead, Kelly, it there.
It's not just one person, it's going to be a group of students. Well, they'll be employed, but a group of Stratford based high school students. So there'll be multiple people and they'll be monitoring the piping plovers like during the day regularly. But doing something at night is definitely something that we can talk about with Audubon. I don't see why that would be an issue.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
As long as we can make sure it's a safe situation.
Okay. All right. All righty. What's next on the hit parade? Go ahead. Laura's got a question. Karen, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're muted.
I have to jump off, and I just wanted to say thank you to Kelly and everybody that came out to volunteer for green sweep and the river cleanup. It was excellent. We had more than 200 volunteers. I don't know what the tonnage was. I don't know if Kelly can update us with that, but I just wanted to say thank you before I jumped off.
Huge thank you to you, Karen. You manned the table the whole time. I appreciate that.
Renee Sarah said there was 2 tons.
Yeah, it was only 2 tons, which is not a lot of trash for the amount of volunteers we had, but that could mean that maybe there just wasn't that much trash, which would be a good thing.
Yeah, there was a couple. They said the river did not have as much trash as it normally had, or floating things. Again, could be all kinds of different reasons for that. Could be that there's not as much trash because the last few years, people weren't out as much, but I'm not sure that's the case. But it also could be that we've had so much rain and so much flooding that a lot of the trash, the water, the banks came up higher and kind of flushed everything away, which is not the good thing. But
I'm still nursing my poison ivy.
Yeah, poison ivy.
Thank you so much, and I'll see you next month.
All right, thanks.
Bye, Karen.
All right, I think we're just about done with our agenda. Search. Anything else to be brought up? I'm not hearing much.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on just half a second. Any new business to be brought up then? Again, I echo Joe and Karen for thanks for the cleanup. Again, getting 200 people out cleaning up is a good deal. And if it's not as much as before, that's, you know, a lot of times the tonnage, they had a couple of years where they've had boats they pulled out. So that adds to the tonnage right there. So again, thank you so very much. Any new, again, going once, going twice, a new business? Hearing none, can
I want to say before we go on, do we make that Greenway project grant money that's available an item of new business so it becomes something, or is this like?
Yeah, I think what Joe was saying, that this is pretty time sensitive, so I'm pretty sure if we wait till June on this, it may be passed. So
Thank you
we
so
can
much.
we can add it on there just to get a point of fact if there's any that came out of it. But yeah, I think it's going to behoove, you know, the Greenway people and maybe Kelly to think of what we need or what we can do with this right away. If that's kind of the gist I got from Joseph.
Okay, thank you. No new business on my behalf. Thank you.
All right. Hearing none. Have a happy Memorial Day, and we'll see you in summer.
You too.
Sounds good.
Oh, wait a minute, Kelly. Kelly's got the pencil up.
I wanted to plug really quickly that the Connecticut Tree Climbing Championships are at Booth Park this Saturday all day.
Nice.
Oh.
So if you want to come watch a bunch of people dangle from trees and do cool stuff,
Are you dangling?
I'm not. I don't know how to do that. Tried to get Cassandra to do it, but she won't.
I'm not sure we want to see. I mean, that would be bad to see if we want to see Cassandra dangling. That sounds bad.
Right. I think there's more skill in it than that.
Sounds like a Western. All right.
We'll
All right, guys.
Bye. Take care.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Take care.
Good night.
Oh. Ow.